Hiya, we're back to stages of the baby. Today we're going to do from birth to 3 years old, 0 to 3 years old. The most important thing for me to explain about this stage is that a baby under 3 years old do not believe that they are separate from the mother. They believe that they are the mother. They haven't separated. They believe they're still part of the mother because of the womb experience. So we need to understand this as the baby needs that connection with the mother. If we compare this to other primates, most other primates will keep the baby with them for a very long time. If we look at orangutans don't have a baby for the first 3 years of a baby's life. They'll only have a baby every 3 years, except for captivity. It has come down to 2 years because they feel safe having a baby closer to the 2-3 year mark. They feel safe for the baby, the 2-year-old baby, to be out in the world. So what we need to understand is that your baby, your child, at this stage of 0 to 3, believes they are you. That's first and most important thing for me. The second most important thing for me is understanding that from 0 to 3 years old, a child learns more than the rest of their life put together. They learn to stand, walk, talk, connect, play, learn. They learn everything from 0 to 3, and the rest of the life is just reinitiating that, resettling that, relearning that system that they've learned. So your child energetically at 1 year old, at 6 months old, is learning energetically everything from you. They're learning how to connect with people. They're learning about intimacy. They're learning about kindness. They're learning about violence. They're learning about nurture. They're learning about respect. They are learning all these things on an energetic level, which they will then take off into their lives and replay out in the next stages. So the earliest stage in the womb, very important, because you're teaching your baby about who you are and how it fits into your world. From 0 to 3, the baby is you and learning from you. The baby is copying you and copying you and copying you. Now, your child is not 100% you. Your child, we can put it the easiest way, is 25% mother, 25% father, 50% individual. So you're not responsible for all the parts of it. But as a parent looking at this stage of 0 to 3 years old, you need to recognize that your child is learning so much, learning everything. This is a time where connecting with your child, like the orangutan who doesn't let the child go completely until 3 years old, and then not completely, still bring the child in and out. We need to also do that. We need to look at this child and see this child is insecure, is learning, and we need to be there with nurture and care and understanding. And most importantly, connection. We need to spend time connecting to our child. Now, if you read my book, it says 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day is sufficient for one-to-one connection with a child. It's enough to get by on. If you're a busy parent with work and other children, 15 minutes is enough. But if you can give 15 hours of connection, and trust me, 15 hours is hard work connecting to a child because they play at a different level. We can't play like them. We have to play we have to bring ourselves down to a level of play we haven't experienced for a long time. A level of brain activity we haven't experienced for a long time. But we need to try and connect with that child. If the child is playing a game, ask about the game. Connect to them about the game. Work with them with the game. If they're coloring in, you color in. If they're playing with something, interact with them. In my life with my child, the first 3 years, we had hardly any friends around. We had hardly anybody around because we were spending so much time connecting. We didn't have time to talk to people, to have a conversation with people. And I know it's awful that you kind of lose your life. But for your child, this is what they need to some degree, that connection. I'm not saying don't have friends. I'm saying be aware that your child needs that connection. That's what they need. This is the stage where they're learning everything. And if you can teach them to connect to you, the rest of it gets easier and easier and easier. If the child doesn't know how to connect you in the stage of 0 to 3 years old, then when they get older, they're going to bounce off you and bounce off you and bounce off you because they don't know how to connect to you. So 0 to 3 stage, your child is learning everything. And try and make learning easy. Try not put harshness on the child when learning. Try not make sure your child can read by the time they're 3 or 4. Give them space to develop and learn at their own speed. Make them feel safe to learn. Because that's what their brain is doing. Their brain is defining their subconscious from 0 to 3 years old. And then redefining it and resettling it and creating it more accurately in the next stages of development. So this is a very important stage, 0 to 3. They're all important, but 0 to 3, they're learning so much about who they're going to be. They don't know that yet. They'll learn these things, they identify these things in the next stages. But this stage of 0 to 3 is important. I want to go back to the fact that this child does not believe that they're separate from the parent, from the mother. This is important, okay, because when the mother feels sad, the child will feel that. When the mother feels angry, the child will feel that. Now, it's okay to feel your emotions, but recognizing that your child is going to feel them as well and experience them as well is important. And recognize that insecurity of the child when the parent isn't in connection to some degree with the baby. Now, when I say in connection, I don't want you to feel like you have to be holding your baby for 3 years. Not have a life, not have a career, not have anything. I'm talking about connection. Connection doesn't worry about distance. So if you are going back to work and your child's 9 months old or 6 months old, go back to work calmly. Go back to connecting with your child when you get back calmly. Own your emotions of feeling the separation, because what you're feeling is separation, they're going to feel a separation, okay? It's not go back to work. It's when you go back to work, still keep connected to your child. Still make sure they're in a safe environment. Still call and contact and connect with them calmly. And they'll feel calm about the process because they're still connected to you. If you're going to be bouncing, they're going to be bouncing. If you're calm, they'll be calm. So 0 to 3 is a really important stage, as you can hear. And I'm quite passionate about this period of time. For me, seeing a baby 0 to 3 years old, a child, that warms my heart. I love watching them play. I love watching them do things. Just from a distance, I don't even have to contact with them. I just like to watch. If I'm sitting in a coffee shop and someone's got a kid there, I like to watch the kids interact. I like to feel how connected they are and trying to connect to the world they are. It's an important stage. We'll go to the next stage in the next video. See you soon.
What if the mother's not around in this stage?
What if the mother's not around in this stage? It's, life is like that. We have times in life where mothers die at birth, where mothers get ill, where mothers get incarcerated, okay? When mothers don't care, okay? But if there is somebody there caring and stepping into that space, that's important. If there isn't, okay, later in life there are going to be traumas to work through. Not the end of the world, but traumas to work through.
So it doesn't matter if it's directly the mother or not, it could be the father.
It could be the father, it could be a grandmother. It will never be the same as the mother though. Never ever be the same as the mother. I think it's really important to recognize that. And my lesson was very clear when I was working in a pub many years ago, and a mum would come in there, drunk as can be, with her 5-year-old child, and I knew the father, and the father was simply going to me, I know what's going on. I can't do anything about it. She's an alcoholic. I don't want to take my son away from his mother. Okay? It's his mother. I'm there, I'm supporting as much as I can, but it's his mother, and that's really important. No matter where the mother is, if the mother isn't intentionally hurting the child, if the child is not in actual danger, the mother is still very important. It is the most important thing you can imagine. The mother energy. That's why, as a healer, 99% of issues with people are mother issues. Or father issues not stepping in to protect the child from the mother issues.
When you leave children at nurseries and stuff when they're younger, so the parents can go to work, is that why they scream and cry when the mother leaves? Because
they are the mother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time it's because the mother is stressed out and anxious about the leaving. Okay, which I would expect them to be feeling. Okay, but it's about owning those feelings. It's okay to feel that way, but to sit with them and breathe. I get them still. My son's 10 years old, and only recently when I went to Copenhagen, it was the first time at 10 years old that I felt relaxed leaving him and not feel panicked 5 days before I see him, 4 days before I see him, 3 days before I see him. Okay, and it was so easy. It made my life easier as well. At 10 years old, I was able to let that go. A lot of parents will let it go around 7 normally. We were maybe a little bit overprotective with my son. And I'm so strongly connected with him because I know how to connect with him. I know the things we can do to get connected. If we're really having a real rough day, the worst possible thing you can do to connect with a child is food. Okay, but we'll go for ice cream and we get this bonding straight away. Or he comes and sits with me on this chair, on me. Now at 10 years old, he's squashing me. I hardly breathe, but we just spend 20 minutes holding each other, being together. There are ways of bonding with him. But, back to your question, it's how you react to things your children react. So if you come home from work when your child's 2.5 years old and the child doesn't want to know you, it's not the child doesn't want to know you. You're the one finding it difficult to connect with yourself because you just got back from work. So the child's mimicking you. It's not connecting to you either. You see that? Mm-hmm. So if you can go take yourself aside for 5 minutes, go to the toilet, I'm going to the toilet, go there and sit down and breathe and connect yourself and acknowledge what's going on for you. And I've done this and practiced this and tried this, okay? And all of a sudden my son's like, boom, on me, because I'm connecting to me, he'll connect to me. And I'm not the mother, but I'm very involved in his life. So he feels that, he feels that anxiety or that push away from myself, he feels pushed away from me as well. So a couple of breaths of acknowledging that I'm feeling separated and I maybe need 5 minutes in the toilet just to come home. Then he comes back to me and then we reconnect again. Interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. We are connecting to our children beyond what we believe. We are.